Hi, it's Mr. Carson again and welcome back. Today we're going to use Google Sheets to create a multi-trial table. Now, often in your science reports you are going to do the same experiment over and over again to check that your values are reliable. So having a data table to show this is very, very important. And you're going to find after that we present our data in a slightly different way. Now in this case, when we do this same experiment over and over and over again, we are collecting what's called continuous data, so we have to present it in a particular way. Okay, we're back to our trusty Google Sheets, but before we start, how about we set it up as I showed you the last time. If we want the same formatting to be everywhere, we simply go to the corner, that's where I've got the cursor, click it, now the whole screen goes blue, and that means we can come up here and we can adjust. Okay, I'm happy with Arial 12 as mine, so once I've said I'm happy with that, I can go and just click on a cell. Now, let's say we're doing an activity that involves adding some magnesium to some acid. Alright, let's choose hydrochloric acid this time. And so I'm going to say we are going to change the concentration of HCl is the shorthand for hydrochloric acid. And when we do that, we use capital M or molarity as our measurement, as our unit. So I'm going to put that in and go through and set it up as I've shown you before. Now remember, that's not fitting in our cell very well, so we go up to wrap text and we wrap the text around, but concentration's not quite right, so let's make that a bit bigger. There we go. Right, so that's one of our headings, and our headings, as we say, also tell us what we're doing and what we're measuring. So let's say I put some values in here, and these will be typical values of acid concentration, and we're going to make the next one 2. Now we have a problem in that every time the machine or the program likes to try to shorten the number of decimal places. It doesn't see the 0 after 2 and after 1 as being important, but they are. So let's put them back in. Alright, we've got 2 there at the moment, which is too many, so I'm just going to go back to 1. So it's all the same one. Now in every column like this, a really, really good tip is to make sure that you do have the same number of decimal places. Really, really important. Now I'm going to test this thing, and I'm going to test it 3 times. Now each time we do a test we call it a trial. So I'm going to do trial 1, trial 2 and trial 3. But that doesn't tell the reader what we're actually doing, does it? So above it I'm going to put down what we're actually doing. Now in this case, as I said, we're having a piece of magnesium and we're seeing how long it takes to fully react. So why not write that down? So we're measuring the time taken for, let's say, a 0.2 gram piece of magnesium, Mg for short, to fully react, and I'm going to measure this in seconds. So there it all is. But this time, because it's applying to columns C, D, E, and I'm going to include column F a bit later on, I'll explain why. But I'm going to include column F, so we go C, D, and E, and F. So what I can do, that's way too long. At the moment that writing is only in column C. So to make it go in columns C, D, E and F, what I do is highlight those 4 columns and go up here to this button which is Merge Cells. Now if I do that, then instead of having 4 different cells, I now have 1, and so my writing stays in the 1 cell. Now I'm going to make it the centre of those, so it sits above, and of course I'm going to make it bold. So now I know that columns C, D, E and F are all about the time in seconds. So how about we fix this up a little bit? How about we make all these are our, I'm going to make them all bold. I'm going to centre them all, make them look nice, and I'm going to centre them vertically as well. And it sort of looks a bit funny with this one here. So to make it look better, I'm just going to join those two cells together, again by merging. Now it's looking much more like a table. Now what I'm going to do is to stop and enter the values. You don't need to see me enter the values, so I'm just going to stop then come back to you. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, while you've been away, I've entered some imaginary numbers into each of the 3 trial columns. Now you'll notice the numbers are never the same, because in reality that's what happens in science experiments and in real life. The numbers are not the same and will have a bit of variation. So we have to work out which number we're going to use, but that's a bit of another story. We actually say that when we gather data, we're actually only really gathering an approximate value. So we really should approximate these into a special number called an average. But before I do that, I'm just going to fix up my data. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to centre it. Alright? Then I'm going to centre it this way as well. Then I'm going to make sure that I all have the same number of decimal places, because column trial 1 should have all things in trial 1, trial 2 and trial 3 should have the same number of decimal places. It's a really, really good idea. That's too many, so I'm going to take it back to 1. So we've got 1 decimal place in all things. Now notice again that in my blue section, my data, there is no units, it is simply a number. Now one thing that we should do is, because we don't really know which number to use, a better guess at what our real value is would be by using an average. Now we know that that's a mathematical thing, so as I showed you in the last session, let's try to allow the program to do that. So we put it equals, then I want you to type in A, B, E, and look what happens below. There's a whole range of things it could be asking you to do. So I'm going to go to average, which is what I want. Click it, and then it says, what do you want me to average? Well, I want to average, in this case, that, and that, those 3 numbers. Now don't forget to close my bracket. So we can see there is my formula I've made, a nice easy formula, and I'm telling the program to average those numbers. So let's see what happens. The average is about 23.8. Now I don't want to have to type in the same thing all the time and the same formula for each of those rows, so what I'm going to do is to take the shortcut and do a copy. So there we are, we've got our average, we've still got it highlighted, so let's reformat it, put it in the centre, and because it's an important number, how about we bold it again. Now the last thing we need to do to make our table is to highlight all of it and go to our borders and put them all in. And there we have it. We have a multi-trial table which tells the reader a heck of a lot and shows what's going on. Now we just simply highlight and copy this one and paste it into our report when we're ready. And next session I will show you how to use this to make a line graph, a scatter plot and a line graph.